The 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Denver Nuggets. Well, for Denver, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. And Jimmy Butler, the 30th pick out of Marquette back in 2011. Every season he's improved, and Shaq made a huge jump last year, didn't he?
Last year he won the Most Improved Player award. He showed me he can get it done in the mid-range, around the rim, on the defensive end. He stepped up.
Yeah, that was a career year for him, all across the board. He averaged 19 points, 3 assists, and he's still got plenty of room to develop, Ernie, because, he just touch the surface of how good he can actually be.
That's what I was going to say. You put those numbers up in that year and get everybody's attention, and you're an all-star. What do you expect this time around?
Well, now the defenses know you, so you have to change some things and add some things as well. So it's going to be an interesting year for Jimmy Butler. I think, though, that this kid is ready for stardom.
Just about ready to tip this thing off. Let's get it down to Kevin Harlan.
We are live in Boston, Massachusetts, the gem of New England, as the Celtics are about to go into this interconference contest right here. Glad to have you with us for more NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan, and here with me tonight, Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. So the Nuggets win the tip. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. So out there for the Nuggets right now, Damian Lillard out there with Jimmy Butler. Then there's Shawn Kemp, then it's O'Neal, and it's Leonard in at the small forward position.
Really impressed with the way Jimmy Butler last season made big strides in his game, going from a supporting role player to someone you can build your team around.
And so the Denver Nuggets get the first points in the ballgame. Pick by Yao. Johnson outside. He dishes it to Yao. 6 on the shot clock. That's good.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
Leonard against Durant. Leonard attacking, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. Kawhi Leonard, with another great season last year, earned his first Defensive Player of the Year award with his outstanding play.
And for Leonard, he became the first perimeter player to win one since 2004. That just shows you how incredible his defense was at times.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First free throw is good.
And for Leonard, you can add that Defensive Player of the Year award to his hardware list, and that puts him in elite company, one of only 3 players to win Defensive Player of the Year and Finals MVP. The other 2, Jordan and Olajuwon.
Both free throws good from Kawhi Leonard.
And for Leonard, winning the Defensive Player of the Year didn't change him at all. I mean, he received a car for winning that award and gave it to charity. Went out of his way to thank his teammates during his acceptance speech. I mean, I think it speaks of his character and really the impact that Popovich has had on him and that entire Spurs team.
The tenacity on the interior, just battling, bringing that effort and will for second chance points.
The Celtics shooting their first free throw of the contest.
And a season ago, they hit about 75% of their free throws.
One shot.
And that one falls for Yao. The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it and just fell in back of the pack.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
Now Durant, after Jimmy Butler missed from long range. Johnson kicks to Yao. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Yao's got 5 points so far. Now here's Lillard. Leonard on the wing. Six to shoot. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. The Nuggets shooting their third free throw attempt of the game.
Definitely an area where they can improve. Only 73% as a team from the line last year.
And, you know, there was plenty of blame to go around for that. I mean, it wasn't just one or two guys. I mean, for the most part, the entire team struggled.
Damian Lillard is a two-time All-Star. He just keeps getting better and better, and I love his demeanor on the floor. He seems a lot older than he really is.
Yeah, he's got an old head, and he's got a very even-keeled disposition about him, which serves him well. He almost missed the All-Star game last season and was an injury replacement.
Now here's Leonard. Shoots from the elbow. That's good on the jump shot.
Could be the first of a lot of mid-range jumpers that we see from him.
Johnson outside. There's a screen by McHale. Johnson, the pass to Thompson. Now against Shaquille O'Neal. Dishes to Durant. From deep three-point range, Denver grabs the miss.
And for Lillard, that motivation. And remember, he got cut from Team USA a couple summers ago in favor of Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving. And Lillard calls it wood on the fire. Those things keep him focused and also hungry.
Now Butler, following Durant's three-point attempt. And Butler, here we go. An even 3-on-3 break. Here's Johnson. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and two shots coming up.
And remember, Lillard, the former Rookie of the Year, he's had his snubs, but also he's gotten some recognition. Even playing in the Pacific Northwest, he's got his own signature shoe now, and his star definitely on the rise.
Now, gentlemen, two shots. Hoop shots.
And that one falls for Johnson.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Derek Favors checked in for Yao. Green comes in for McHale. Sean Marion is checked in for Kevin Durant. And Thomas subbed in for Thompson. And that was something the Celtics needed, adding Thomas, a player that could come in and provide Clark instant offense for them off the bench.
And, Kevin, I think that was a turning point for him last year. I mean, they saw that they had a chance to make a big leap forward after the trade and responded accordingly.
Now here's Rodman. Leonard dishes to Towns. So the whistle blows on the shot, and two free throws for the contact right there. Karl Anthony Towns didn't come into the previous year as the most highly touted prospect, Clark, but his play last year at Kentucky would change that.
No question about it. People knew he was going to be good, Kevin, but few saw him being this good. He showed he could do a little bit of everything as a Kentucky big.
All right, now, gentlemen, two shots. Hoop shots.
So a free throw drops for Towns.
And guys, with Towns, he is so valuable in every aspect of the game. Really great at both ends of the floor. His defense is as strong as it gets for a first-year player.
And Towns drops them both.
And perhaps the biggest plus about Towns is his upside. I mean, he's shown that he can make big strides in his level of play. Already good at shooting from outside and can play either post spot, too.
Now here's Favors. Pass to Marion. He kicks it to Green. Looks for Thomas. Gets it to him. On the wing. And that's good for two. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, it reminds me of that cameo song, Back and Forth.
From deep, Harden. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Celtics out in front, up by one. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful tenure with the Butler Bulldogs. He talked about the challenge of making that decision.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to stay together and really commit to a process together. And I was sold on that, and I continue to be sold on it.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks lost in his stockpile.
Well, I don't know how he would address that question, but I do know he's feeling real good about his decision. I mean, taking the Celtics to the playoffs in just his second season, I mean, I think he's one of the bright coaching stars in the NBA today. It was the NBA's game and college basketball's loss when he moved on to the Celtics.
Well said. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. What do you guys think about the Celtics here in this one?
Not much room to operate offensively. The defense has been stifling through the first.
Greg, they haven't given up a lot of easy chances at all.
Green is out there with Favors. Then it's Thompson. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. And it's Marion in at the three. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. Kemp kicks it to Butler. And the foul called on Sean Marion. That's his first foul.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Boston making some changes. Jordan comes in for Derek Favors. And Durant subbed in for Sean Marion. And Denver with a change here, too. Moncrief's checked in. The Celtics really seemed to get better as last season wore on, too. GA finished the year looking very dangerous.
Kevin, with the Celtics, they were dynamite after the All-Star break. Had the second best record in the Eastern Conference post-All-Star.
Stolen by O'Neal. Moncrief against Thomas. O'Neal a screen on Thomas. Moncrief kicks to Kemp, and down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Now, here's Thomas. Green left side. Can't make good off the pick.
You know, one of the big things for the Celtics after the All-Star break was they play smarter. I mean, they went from the middle of the pack in terms of turnovers to a team that rarely made mistakes.
Durant against Harden. Pass to Kemp. Sidney Moncrief on the wing. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Some changes for Boston. Yao, he's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. And it's McHale in for Draymond Green. And Denver also making a switch. Cheeks is checked in. Denver passing it around. Kemp a screen on Thompson. Just 5 on the clock. Shoots from the baseline. Kemp can't hit.
Well, yeah, that's a good point about the Celtics and their turnovers. Last year, after the All-Star break, they were 4th in the league in limiting their mistakes. They played well beyond their years down the stretch.
Now here is Yao, following the miss by Sean Kemp. Here's McHale. Boston, no good that time either. Nuggets have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. And he lobs it up toward the rim. It's stolen by McHale. We've got 1:13 left in the first half. Thomas kicks to Durant. Pass to Yao. Sinks that one from the post. Yao's got the lead up to 3 now for Boston.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
Durant against Butler. To the inside. And it's Kemp slamming it down.
Now, this is why the breakaway rim was invented. For plays just like that.
Well, he almost brought the whole thing down, Clark, by hanging on that long.
Yeah, he did.
I tell you what, though, great dunk, and this is even a better game we got going on right now.
Here's Yao. The Nuggets getting the bucket. Here's Thomas. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Thomas got his second bucket of the game to go. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The screen from Kemp. Cheeks the pass to O'Neal. Yao with the block. Thomas with the ball. There's a screen by McHale. Outside Durant. They get it back. Yao off with the layup. And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Celtics lead by 3. We're going to step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after our halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, they called the right plays, and then they executed them. Great job in the first half. That's why they were so efficient, and they shot so accurately. The defense threw a number of different looks at them, but they were always prepared because they were cool, calm, and efficient.
And big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Nuggets.
Their shooting rhythm was off, under 40%. Some of that was shot selection. Some of it was the defense stepping up. My guess is we'll see some significant changes as things get going in the second half. Increasing off-the-ball activity, making the extra pass, and trying to get better looks.
And that's it for halftime as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. Yao Ming really has his fingerprints all over this one.
And he really just broke out the entire arsenal of post moves there in that first half.
And I think he might even have a few more tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he'll break them out as we start heading down the stretch. I'm sure of that.
Celtics leading by 3. Denver with a tough year last season. A lot of losses for them on the road as they would go, Clark, only 11-30 away from the Mile High City.
Yeah, and Kevin, they ended the season on a 5-game road losing streak as well. I mean, they had mostly given up at that point as they had tried to develop young players, and it just kind of blew up on them down the stretch.
Second half underway. Here's who Mike Malone's got on the floor. Kawhi Leonard is out there with Kemp. Then it's Damian Lillard. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Shaq in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Leonard, no luck. Boston shooting well, 50% from the floor.
A big problem for the Nuggets last year is that they just couldn't hit shots away from home. I mean, they finished in the bottom 5 in terms of field goal percentage on the road.
Just not enough bodies on the glass right there, and they paid for it.
Well, Greg, I know you're a little guy, but you know what it means to box out, and it's an effort thing and a mindset deal. You got to get your body between that other player and the ball.
Now, here's Leonard. No luck. Durant with some nice D.
Hey, I've got one more note on the Nuggets and the road. I mean, when you shoot as poorly as they did, as you mentioned, you start to lose some confidence and second-guess things. It's a lot harder to fight through shooting slumps like that in somebody else's building, no doubt.
Moment here now for an injury report. Let's get an update on Thomas. What's the status, Doris?
Kevin, I was able to catch up with the Celtics head athletic trainer. It doesn't seem like too drastic of an injury.
Okay, Doris, sounds like he won't be out for too long.
Well, hopefully that's the case, Kevin, and he'll be back before long.
First one falls for him. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Derek Favors checked in for Yao. Draymond Green comes in for McHale. And it's Marion in for Durant.
You know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt.
And out of the gates here in this second half, they have not started well. 0 of 3.
Johnson dishes to Favors. It's stolen by Rodman. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Nice job coming off that screen.
Well, listen, it was a forgettable series for Celtics fans. However, the Celtics' young core were able to experience postseason basketball. That's something that you can really never replicate. I'm sure they'll be hungry for more of it, and credit Brad Stevens on a terrific job.
And stolen by Favors. Johnson kicks to Marion. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Tanking is something that all teams that are out of it tend to do. I hate that word, Clark, but it seems to be the one used by a lot. Nuggets didn't really try to hide it last season either.
Well, you know, it certainly looked that way. Right around March, they just started sitting key players for no real reason. They framed it as rest, but
gentlemen,
it didn't quite look that way.
2 shots.
One is off.
And guys, for the Nuggets, it seemed to come out of the blue for their players. They all felt fresh, but the press release would say they needed rest. So obviously a bit of miscommunication there.
Thomas checked in for Boston. And the second free throw, good.
And, you know, back to the Nuggets and giving up a bit near the end of the season, miscommunications like that can really bother a player. Still, it's a viable strategy. I don't know if it's viable, but it's a strategy that could pay dividends if executed the right way.
Outside Leonard. 6 to shoot. Shoots the 3. Cannot hit. And the Celtics going the other way now.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Favors with the screen. Over in the corner, Green. Out to Marion. Second chance effort. Boston. No good that time either. The Nuggets trail by 9. Here's Lillard. Kicks it out to Harden. Fires the 3. Rebounded by Marion. Celtics have gone 3 of 7 on field goal attempts here in the second half. Favors with the screen. Thomas passes to Favors. And it's Marion in the corner. And Derek Favors picks up the foul. That's his first foul. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for the Celtics. Durant comes in for Sean Marion. Denver also making some changes. O'Neal's checked in for Towns. Butler comes in for Rodman. And it's Moncrief in for James Harden. Lillard against Thomas. Now the pass to Moncrief. No one near him. Rebound Boston.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Here's Johnson. He has 6. Durant for 3. Again, the miss by the Celtics. Lillard. No good. And we've reached the end of the third. It's the Celtics. They lead by 9. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us. And the final period of play just about to start. The Nuggets trail by 9. We've got Durant. Now is out there with Kevin McHale. Then it's Johnson, and it's Thompson in at shooting guard. That's the Boston 5. Nobody near Leonard. And right on target. Good. Leonard's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Nuggets. Boston shooting 43% for the game. Thompson dishes to Johnson. Pick by Yao. Shot clock at 5. Hits the jump hook. Yao's got the lead up to 9 now for the Celtics. Stolen by Thompson. He feeds it to Johnson. The dish to McHale. Outside Durant. Johnson outside. Right side Durant. Misses off the left iron.
A key rebound there, but they can do a little better on the glass here down the stretch.
Guys, it's been their weakness to this point in the game, but they're still alive. You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist number. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Brad Stevens was giving to his team. He was absolutely adamant, saying, don't let them off the hook. Let's keep our foot on the pedal and keep doing the things that have gotten us here this far. We're almost home.
Leonard with the steal. Here's Lillard, and it's sent back by McHale. Oh, and here we go with Durant. Nobody back. And stolen by Butler. Lillard attacking. That is good.
Key buckets, and we know he delivers down the stretch.
Boston leading by 5. Feeds to McHale. And Thompson kicks to Yao. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. And that's 11 points for Yao.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
Second minute off the clock now in the fourth. Lillard against Johnson. Lillard outside. 5 to shoot. Stolen by Magic. Durant up top. McHale left side. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
.136 left in the fourth. The Nuggets with another miss.
Solid job by them on the glass here tonight. +8 in rebounding.
You know what? That rebound has always been a critical element of the game, and that's why they are now understanding how to win.
Johnson against Lillard. Fires from deep. That's good.
And I love the tenacity, guys. He simply can will his way into games at times and exert his presence.
Now here's Durant, picked by Yao. Durant, the pass to Johnson. 58 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Back to Durant with the shot. Rebound by Butler.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper rate.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all would apply. Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound. And once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
Here's Johnson. They can more or less wrap it up right here.
This has to be a very smart possession.
Durant against Leonard. The 19-foot shot, and it's wide right. It's off the rim.
Major defensive lapse right there. And he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
Now here's Lillard inside, kicks it out to Leonard. 5 on the clock. The Nuggets need to get a shot off here. And so it's Boston scraping by with the win. What a show they put on here at home tonight.
Tremendous work all the way down to the wire. You were just wondering what would happen next. Major drama. We saw good.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you next time.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's move on to our Jordan Player of the Game. Shaq, your thoughts?
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. They get jealous, and he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became unstoppable, man.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.